Welcome, welcome, welcome to Everyday Life with Tori Munson podcast. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm your girl, your friend, your teacher, your preacher, and your motivational speaker. We have today, we have today our guest, Lakeisha Walker. I'm sorry. We have Lakeisha Walker on right now, and I am so excited to have her because she has a great, 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 great testimony. She has a great testimony on today for everybody that is watching. We're going to get some viewers on here first before we go forth. Just going to wait a couple of seconds and get some viewers on here. Yes, we're going to get some viewers on here in a couple of seconds. Yep. Let's go. Yes. Gonna wait. Welcome. We're gonna wait a couple of minutes to get some viewers on here. You guys don't mind. Let's just get these viewers up. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Yes. Welcome everybody. Tag and share. Tag and share, y'all. Tag and share. Tag and share. Let's get the viewers up. We have a dynamic woman of God on here today. We had some difficulties this morning, but we're live. We live, and we're going to go forth. We live. Yes. Let's go. Come on, everybody. Tag and share, tag and share, tag and share. Let's get this volume up this morning. I know people are heading out. I know that they are going to their different places and maybe brushing their teeth or having a cup of coffee. And you can do that and listen. It's all good. You can listen up. You can do that and listen. Yes, you can. Let's go. You can do it and listen. You listen. I have 3 viewers. That's all I got. But go ahead and tag and hit the share button so that we can get the volume up this morning because we have a woman of God that has a great testimony for people out here in the world. She has a story to tell of how God has transformed her life. This is going to be phenomenal and dynamic. I have never in my life spoke to anyone that has gone through sex trafficking. But today, we're going to dive into it and see how her brokenness and her hurt and her pain and the different things that she's gone through did not stop her destiny. Come on. It didn't stop her destiny. And that is the most powerful part of her story. The most powerful part of her story. Come on, Esther and Tiffany, go ahead and tag and share. Blessings, Dr. Kishma, blessings. My godmom is on here. Yes, come on, tag and share, y'all. Tag and share. I just want the volume to come up a little bit. We had a difficult start this morning, but that's all right. It's not stopping nothing. Yes. Yes, this woman, Lakeisha Walker, has definitely gone through some things, y'all. We're going to dive into it. I want to just get our volume up a little bit more. If y'all can help me with tagging and sharing. Come on. She's gone through some things. Many people out there in the world right now is experiencing sex trafficking or know others that has experienced sex trafficking or even just in a bad, broken relationship. How did you get there? How did you get in this relationship? Come on. How did you get in this relationship? How did you get tangled up with these individuals? What were you doing to cause you to slide in here? Or what happened in your past that brought you here? Come on. So this is what we're going to discuss today. Yes. Good morning, everybody. Tag and share. This is what we're going to discuss. And we're going to discuss this. We're going to get started in like a couple of more minutes. I'm going to give it to 9:10. We got 2 minutes. Come on, tag and share, y'all. Tag and share. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on, y'all. Are y'all tagging and sharing? I'm doing my leg work over here. Listen, y'all. Come on. Yes, yes. We got 1 more minute and we're going to start. Okay, Mom, you shared. Tiffany, did you share? Dr. Kishma? I'm sure you shared. Yes, ladies, let's go, let's go. We got 1 minute. Lakeisha, you ready?
I'm ready.
You ready? You ready, Lakeisha? She say she ready. We're going to get started. She say she ready. All right, let's go. Let's get started. Here we go. All right. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Okay. So again, here we are with Everyday Life with Tori Munson podcast. And we have a beautiful guest today. Her name is Lakeisha Walker. And Lakeisha Walker is going to tell us her story of how she has gone through 6 years of sex trafficking, how, why, what happened, when did it happen, where she is today, and what God is doing in her life. Hey, Rashetta, listen, y'all, tag and share. Rashetta, would you tag and share for me? Come on and tag and share. Good morning, everybody. I feel good. Get y'all coffee. Where y'all coffee at? Get y'all coffee or y'all water, y'all tea, whatever y'all got. Let's go. All right. So, Lakeisha, so I want you to begin to tell us today. First of all, tell me who you are, Lakeisha. Tell the world who you are this morning.
Well, my name is Lakeisha Walker, and for first, let me say that I'm a sex slavery or sex trafficking survivor, 6 years. I'm also the founder and CEO of Honorable Women Inc. I'm a motivational speaker. Um, I speak everywhere. I'm also a life coach.
Yay, yay. All right. So we see already what God is doing in her life. So, Lakeisha, let's start from the beginning. So begin to tell me how was your childhood? Because I know that plays a big part in who we are today. How was your childhood? And tell me how it all began in your life.
My childhood was the worst possible childhood that you could ever imagine. Pretty much, I was born and to two drug addicted parents. My mother was addicted to crack cocaine. My father was addicted to heroin. And at 2 years old, my mother climbed to the top of a 3-story building with me in her arms and she jumped. As a result of that, I ended up being a product of DCFS where I bounced around. By the time I was 4, I was being molested consistently by a relative, actually. Um, and from there, I continued to be bullied in school, like all through school, bullied. My grandmother eventually took me in, right? But when she took me in, that situation wasn't better. It was supposed to be a better situation. It wasn't because my grandmother was extremely loving, but her husband was extremely abusive. He was narcissistic. He would curse her out. He might slap her, and he would be abusive towards me and my sister as well, like verbally. So that wasn't a better situation. And then my grandmother would send us to my mother's house where I would be filthy, the house would be filthy. It was the whole drug addicted environment where my mom would run in and out, chasing a hat, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I just remember standing by that window. And this is when I really first remember experiencing the abandonment issues. I would stand by that window and I would just be like, waiting for my mother because she would tell me like I'd be right back, but right back sometimes could go for 2 months. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't have food. A lot of times we didn't have clothes because everything was, sold. And by the time I was 12 years old, I ended up getting raped by a local drug dealer um, who was selling drugs to my mom, and he happened to be there. And because he had fed me and my brother while my mom was out getting high, he told me that he needed payment for that. And I didn't know what he meant by that. And it was actually another guy there with him. And the other guy ended up leaving like, look, I don't want no parts of this. And that's after that I ended up getting raped. So then I understood really quickly what he meant by that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Let me take it back because this is something very important. Another thing is that my father, he ended up dying from a heroin overdose by the time I was 9 years old. But it's something really important that I wanted to mention. He would take me around the neighborhoods and tell people like, look at my beautiful daughter, it's her birthday, and he would tell me to lie and say it was my birthday, right? So he can get the money to get high. And I would. So at the end of this, he would take the money and he would give me $1, right? So it might be $100 he had, and I was only maybe about 5 years old. So I didn't know about like money, like how much it is, like the value of money. But I was smart enough to know, shouldn't I be getting more than $1? So I remember saying like, "Where's the rest of my money?" And he was like, "No, go, take this dollar and get out of my face." So I believe that has something to do with some of the devaluing, right? Me not understanding my worth. Um,
So
so
let me
anyway,
just stop you right there real quick. One thing that you said that stuck out to me is abandonment issues.
yes,
So as a child, you went through and you felt abandoned. Now, how old was you when you say you felt abandoned?
I felt abandoned as early as 2 years old because I can still remember the scent of my mother and just being in her bosom. And after the jump, we were separated, and I didn't know where my mother was. I woke up in a hospital bed with DCFS workers walking back and forth. I didn't see a familiar face, and I just remember feeling like I don't have like nobody. Like, where's my parents at?
Hmm. And then you said your dad. So to go back to your dad when you said, so everybody, I want you to get something, hear this, what she said. She felt abandoned when she was two. At 2 years old, sometimes we don't think that our kids can feel a certain way and it sticks with them. But at 2 years old, she felt abandoned. Go on to your father. Your father took you around, said it was your birthday. Continue on, babe.
Yes. So I really remember his back more than I remember him being with me because he was always chasing. Like both of my parents was just always chasing high the high. So that had a lot to do with just abandonment as well. I suffered with low self esteem tremendously, and I believe a lot of that had to do with the bullying in school, and also, you know, I grew up old school, so my grandmother would tell me things like, don't look in the mirror too much. Don't say you pretty, too much people think you vain. I don't think she meant like to be negative with that. Um, but as a result of that, I ended up not thinking I was anything, right? And
Hmm.
when I would go to school and I would get bullied, I just went with it. So the teachers would be talking about me like, maybe she's slow. Is there something wrong with her? Because when I would be in school, I would just sit there and not say nothing. I always felt like I had to keep loyalty to my family, to my mother, to my father, just loyalty to all these people that I cared about. So I never could really get free from all this stuff I was going through. Like it's, so
Hmm.
early in life. And this is before even sex trafficking, right? So eventually, by the time I was 16, I was in my first abusive relationship, right?
So
I
wait,
yes.
the abandonment issues you've gone through, the
Yes.
low self-esteem that you've gone through. brought you to a place of not believing that anyone loved you or was there for you, or they, and so you gravitated to what this guy that you're going to talk about. Let's talk about that.
So this was my first domestic violence relationship. I meet him, I'm working in White Castle, my first little job at 16 years old. And he was like nice to me, which was something that I wasn't used to. And he would whine and dine me, and all of that. And I thought that this is the best thing that's ever happened, to me. It was my first boyfriend. I thought it was my first true love. And then suddenly one day he started to beat me. We was walking down the street and he told me that I was looking at somebody else. And I'm just like, I'm not, who am I looking at? And he like, you're looking at another man. And then he just went blam, slapped me across the head and was choking me and drugged me down the alley and was stomping me. And then after he beat me severely, he started to cry. And he started to tell me how he loved me. And he told me how his mom was beat by his dad, which they, a lot of times they trauma bond you, because I feel like I could relate because my mom was also beat by my dad, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know what to do with that in my little 16-year-old man. So I just stayed with him when I should have left.
So,
And
so wait a minute. So you get into a relationship at 16. How old was the young man?
he was about 19 or 20.
So he was 19 or 20.
Mhm.
And because he told you everything that you wanted to hear and made you feel a certain way, which your parents never gave you, um, all you felt was from them was abandonment, rejection. You gained low self-esteem because they didn't speak into you or make you feel that love, make you feel like you do matter, make you feel like you are the most beautiful thing in the world, make you just to make you feel secure. You turn to someone, that a man that made you feel that way. So this
Yes,
man told you everything that you wanted to hear, made you feel like you was a queen, um, gave you the things that you wanted, the love and affection that you were searching for from your mom and dad, right? But you
yes,
didn't get it, so you turned to the person that was able to give it to you, right?
yes,
And so this is huge because a lot of women do that. A lot of women go through rejection, go through abandonment, go through all these things. And then what happened is they turn to, they're vulnerable. So you were very vulnerable and you were
yes,
vulnerable and you turned to an individual, which was a man that made you feel everything that you wanted to feel, that lack of love and all of that. So you turned to him. And because he was messed up, he began to abuse you.
yes.
Go ahead, continue.
So I got to calling the police. So I would call the police just to get him to stop beating me. I called the police, I promise y'all, over 20 times, right? So the police would come, but they would be like, look, Miss Walker, they knew my name, okay? That's how much I called them. They would be like, you keep calling us just to get him to stop beating you. But then when we get here, you never want to arrest him. You never want to do nothing about it. You just make us leave. We are telling you that this is going to get worse. And he might even kill you. They be telling me the truth, right? But I would get angry and I would make them leave. I would defend this man, and he began to buy me gifts. The gifts got bigger and bigger after every time I would get the beating. So to
So we
some
so
degree,
so he was trying to lure you, keep you by giving you things to make you feel good, right?
yes,
Make you feel good. He'll beat you, then he'll cry and say he's sorry, and
yes,
then he'll buy you stuff to keep you there so you wouldn't leave. A lot of times, people, please tag and share this live because this is very important. That women need to hear this. We have so many women in broken relationships, messed up relationships, abusive relationships, and not that they're being sex trafficked, but they are in an abusive relationship that ultimately can kill them. Come on. And so people need to hear straight from an ex-victim's mouth what happens and why and how she got there. So please tag and share. So you were saying that he did all these things and so the victim never wants to tell on the person that's abusing them, the abuser. The victim
yes.
never wants to tell. The victim is hurt, but you never want to get him in trouble, did you? Why was
No,
that?
because
Why?
because I thought that the abuse was love. Honestly, to be totally 100 with you, I felt like the way that I was treated in that situation was similar to the way that I felt with my parents. Like, even though it wasn't like they was beating me, but some of those same emotions of just being hurt, of being told like I'm not gonna do it again, I promise. I'm a caretaker naturally, and I think that that came from me taking care of my mom, and stuff like that early on. So me having to take care of somebody, or feeling like I have to try to help you, maybe I could help you to stop beating me, that whole mentality. I was thinking that everything will be okay. I just gotta, he was telling me it was my fault, that it's something that I'm saying or something that I'm wearing or whatever. So I would try to make all these changes to myself to be perfect so that I could, be better for him. And then eventually I just realized that that wasn't it. But honestly, I would have still been in that relationship had my family not intervened. Now wait till you hear this. So eventually, okay, I would go to church. I was raised in church, so I would go to church, and sometimes I would get beat up on Saturday and then be in church on Sunday. But people knew like about me getting beat and stuff, but I was so defensive to protect him that they, it wasn't nothing that I was gonna let nobody do to really stop it, right? So I had came on this particular Sunday all beat up and stuff, and neck all, bruised, everything. And my family had called him out sad. And I didn't think nothing of it. Next thing I hear him just screaming and cursing and like calling my name. So I run out there, and it's him getting arrested. And my family had put him in jail, and they was able to hold him in jail. He ended up doing a little time from that because my family had the love letters. Like, I was just showing them like, see, he wrote me a love letter. He means that he's not going to do it. They was able to use all of that against him. So he ended up doing some time. And that was the only reason why I had gotten out of that situation. I didn't have no help, like spiritually or mentally or nothing yet. So I think it's important to mention too that one of the things I noticed is that who was the common denominator in all of this? Me. So everybody was thinking like if I was to get out of that relationship, then that would be the end of it, right? But it wasn't, because I didn't have no healing or nothing yet. So I was still the same person. I still had the same rejection, low self-esteem.
Right there. That's so huge. That's so huge. So what she said here was she got out of the relationship because her family intervened, but it didn't change anything with her. Her feelings were still the same. The way she felt was still the same. So we can come to people's rescue, y'all. We can come and try to save people from the abuser and from the situation that they're in, but there is no healing in the individual. They will go back to the same stuff. If there's no healing in the individual, they will find themselves back in the same place that they were in. So it's very important that when we are trying to help an individual come out from their dark place, come out from abuse, come out from drugs, whatever the situation is, because you remove them from their environment does not mean that they're going to change if there's no healing and deliverance. Healing and deliverance, okay? Come on, sis. We getting good now. Come on,
Yeah.
let's tag and share the video, please. She's telling her story of how she came out of sex trafficking from 6 years. She's telling us now how it all began. What was the root? What brought her into sex trafficking? What was the root? There is always a root to a situation. When you see an individual and they're doing certain things, there is a root. Don't judge. Listen, don't judge the individual. Hallelujah. There is a root to it all. Let's go, Lakeisha.
Okay. So by the time so go through that abusive relationship. Now I'm 17 years old, right? I had already, between from 16 to 17, I'm extremely rebellious. I mean, I'm angry, like the hurt that I felt prior to turns into anger. So now I'm talking back. I'm, big Keisha, y'all can't tell me nothing, all of that. That's important because I want y'all to understand why I wasn't looked for, right? But anyway, so they just kind of let me be, and I was called Crazy Keisha. I was the black sheep of the family, and people knew that it's like, you better not mess with her because she kind of crazy, y'all, whatever. So now I'm 17 years old. So I'm walking down the street, and I meet this guy. Okay. So I didn't think nothing strange about him. He was a handsome guy. He sparked up a conversation with me, kind of won me over. And then he started to groom me by constantly talking to me consistently on the phone, staying in my ear, y'all. And he would ask me everything about myself. So he seemed to be really interested in me. Like he
Wait,
really,
where did you meet him at? Where did you meet him at?
I met him just walking down the street.
Walking down the street. She met another guy. Let's go, Lakeisha.
Yes. So he's so interested in me, and he gets to asking me about my past. And I just was so shocked that anybody cared about how I felt, right? So I'm telling him, like, yeah, my mom was on drugs, like, and it made me feel like this and like that. This is something else that's important. Pay attention to somebody keeping you on the phone like that. Like, it's people have dark intentions. But anyway, so I'm just telling him all my feelings. He got me real open, nose wide open. I'm vulnerable. And then he tells me, you know what? We're gonna be best friends. We're gonna be like Bonnie and Clyde. I'm gonna be there for you. It's us against the world. I went through the same thing you did. My mom was on drugs and all of that stuff too. So I really believed, what he was saying. And I'm just like, that's it. Forget my family, forget trying to get love from them and all that. I just, start my own thing. So it's me and him. So we began to be like this, right? And within a month, this was all within a month's time, he dares me just out the blue, just like, you would make a good stripper. And I'm just like, where's this coming from? Like, you never said nothing about stripping or nothing before. And he tells me, well, you very beautiful. And that was something that like I said, I wasn't used to necessarily hearing. And I was so shocked by him saying that I was beautiful that I really didn't pay attention to the rest of what he was saying. So he told me, you know what? I dare you to walk into a strip club. So I just kind of sat there and pondered on what he was saying. And I felt scared, like I felt nervous about it, but I'm just like, well, I don't want to go through the peer pressure of him making fun of me or making it seem like I won't do it. And also, I don't want to lose this good man because I literally was like the type to worship a man at that point.
Wait a minute. Listen, y'all. Did y'all hear that? I gotta stop in these intricate details because it's very important. She said she met the guy in the street walking, right? She met him. They talk on the phone all the time. So basically, he was kind of speaking in her ear and telling her everything that she wanted to hear. He wanted to know about her past. You said that, right? He wanted to
Yes.
know about her past, begin to tell him about her past, which now gives him more information about who she is. And now he's trying to relate to her situation so she will find safety in him. Come on here. So that she could trust him. He's playing on her intentions, he's playing on her vulnerability, right? And then one thing that he said, we're gonna be like Bonnie and Clyde. We're gonna be best friends. He's going into covenant, and she accepted. Let's go, Lakeisha.
Okay. So then we
Tag
get
and share everybody.
so by the end of that night, he really takes me to the strip club. Then I didn't really know he was super serious until I ended up at a strip club by the end of that night. So he tells me, get out and walk in, get out the car and walk in. So we both get out. I walk in. So I walk in there and I'm just like, okay, I walked in. Now can I go? But I noticed that there are about six other girls, like six strippers, like right there by the door. And then there was this other guy that was right there by the door, kind of sort of sizing me up. Real quick, I want to give y'all some education. The first guy that I was telling y'all about, the one who I told y'all, Bonnie and Clyde, he was a Romeo pimp. I had no idea. I had no knowledge of sex trafficking or that this even existed. But so a Romeo pimp's job is to groom you, to love bomb you. I always say all pimps are narcissistic, right? But his job is to pretend that he's everything that you want him to be, so that ultimately he could get you to sell your body. So that was a
My
setup.
God.
Yeah, I didn't
My
know it was,
God.
but it was a setup. So I get into the strip club. I see the guy size me up. He's talking to the Romeo pimp back and forth, but I'm not thinking too much of it. I'm just thinking, I got to get the heck out of here. Like, what the heck is going on? And then the girls is telling me like, oh my God, you so beautiful. Come back here with us. We're going to be a family and all of this stuff. And they had an outfit ready for me, like, stripper clothes and all of this. And this is what I blame myself for, y'all, for a long time. I had to forgive myself for this part. I had an opportunity to leave at that point. I could have just, ran out the door or whatever. But for whatever reason, I didn't, because it seemed like they had love for me. Honestly, that's what I was thinking at the time. Like, they saying we're gonna be a family and this and that. And I just was searching for love in all the wrong places. So I went back there with them. They take me back there. They get me all dressed up in the stripper clothes. Um, the girl is telling me you don't have to be afraid, because I kept saying I'm scared. I'm not pretty enough. I'm ugly, this and that. She then grooms me and tells me she'll give me my first dance, and she'll pay me for my first dance. So that's how they got me to dance in the first place, right? So she pays me for my first dance. Then, not to be too much information, but just being real, she sleeps with me. I had never been with a woman or nothing like that. To further groom me. So now I'm in a state of confusion. Like, I just don't know what I feel. Like, my emotions are all over the place. But they got me coming back and forth to the strip club. Okay. So I'm coming back and forth to the strip club within 3 days. I'm going home to my grandma's house. My grandma is seeing me dressed half naked. She's telling me, I mean, she's looking at me, but she's not saying anything. Um, and sometimes I wish she had said something, because maybe she could have got it out of me. But I guess because of her old school demeanor, it was just like, don't say nothing, just have a blind eye to it.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, within 3 days of me going back and forth to the strip club, the man just completely disappears. He take me on the third day to the strip club. Well, I'm missing a part. This is important. The part that I'm missing is that he tells me that he need me to continue to dance. That's why I continue to dance, for that time period. Because after the stuff happened with the stripper and all of this, the man tells me, hey, now I need you to do this. You did a great job. The girl said you did good. I'm not about to keep doing stuff for you. So I need you to dance in order to hold me down. Remember, I told you we Bonnie and Clyde and all of this. So I'm just like,
So he
okay,
played on your emotions and all that, saying that you got to hold me down. So I need you to keep stripping because you did a good job.
right.
Wow.
So that's how
Wow.
just continued to strip in the first place. So that day 3, we at the club, he takes me there. I'm not thinking nothing of it. And then he just completely disappears. So I'm looking for him. Like, have anybody seen, I'm gonna just say Romeo Pimp, because I can't say names. Have anybody
Right.
seen him? Nobody has seen him. At this point, those same girls, they had already turned on me, wanted to cut my face. They said I was taking their customers. It was just crazy, right? So they wouldn't talk to me. I see the other guy at the door, the one that I seen initially, who was a gorilla pimp. Okay. He tells me, you looking for the Romeo pimp? You're not gonna find him. You need to talk to me right now. And he was kind of saying it like demanding. So I'm just like, what's going on? And he like, come into my car and talk to me right now. So I go to talk to him, and he tells me, ain't no more of Mr. Romeo. You with me now, and you're gonna do what I say, what I tell you. You're gonna, if I tell you I want you to strip or sleep with people or whatever, you're gonna do that. And if you don't, I'm gonna kill you. If you tell anybody, I'm gonna kill them. And I'm gonna kill your family. It's just he gonna kill everybody, right? So I'm just looking at him like, is this man really serious? He bangs my head into the window shield to let me know that he meant business. So at that point, I became afraid, like extremely afraid. So he was still dropping me back off at home and bringing me back to the club to dance. He had made me sleep with people at the club already, just for me to get in, because I really wasn't even old enough to be in the club dancing in the first place. So now,
So he made you sleep with people to get in the club.
yes, like the owner, this is like a dark world. This is a dark world, and it be many people involved, like people that y'all don't even know, higher ups or whatever. This the owner of the club. So the owner of the club basically was like, I guess initially the owner was being paid off for me to be in there being young, because they don't want to risk their whole club going down or whatever. So at this point, it's like, either give me some more money for her being in here, or you can give me sex and then I'll let it slide. So he made me sleep with the owner of the club in order to get in there. Or the doorman, like little stuff like that that he
Mm-hmm.
had already began to kind of make me do. So I was so miserable. I had already almost got raped, and then I had gotten raped, and this is all within 2 weeks, y'all, where I could have left. This is the part where I
Two
really
weeks. 2
where I
weeks.
tried to leave, but I just I blames myself because I felt like I wish I could have got away, or I wish I would have told somebody, did something. But anyway, so I'm just constantly, now I'm trying to get away because I done went to the pimp. I done told him somebody raped me, this and that. And he like, I don't care if you got raped. You better get my money, you know. And matter of fact, you better bring back double. Like these gorilla pimps have no sympathy whatsoever. You just get beat and all of that. So I knew I had to get away. So I kept trying to run away at this point. So I tried to run away like 6 times. And each time I would try to run away, I would run to a close by friend's house or something. And I would leave him with like boxes full of money, thinking in my head, because I ain't know nothing about human trafficking or nothing, he should leave me alone. He got that money, you know what I mean? But he never did. Like he would catch me on the streets and kind of like kidnap me and make me go back. So eventually, I just was like, I can't do this. It felt like slavery. So I went and told my best friend at the time, and I just like, please don't tell nobody. He said he'll kill everybody, but I'm not doing this no more. Like, I have to get away from this man. So I was like, I'm gonna try to escape tonight and try to go like really far away. And she promised not to tell, but then 2 hours later, he finds me on the street, throws me in the truck. And this is where it got real, y'all. This man takes me to a big house, like a big dusty looking house. And now he traps me in a room because he tells me, I'm tired of you trying to, you know, get away, run away. I tried the thing where I was taking you back and forth home or whatever. So now you got to be locked up here. So I
My
get,
God. Hold up, hold up, hold up,
yes,
hold up. That's deep. That's dang. So you went from they made you start going to a strip club and sleeping with people there.
yes,
And then he was allowing you to go back home, but because you kept trying to leave, he said, nah, you ain't going nowhere. Took you to a house, a dusty house.
yes.
Okay, let's go on.
Okay, so the room had like bolted locks going all the way down. So I already knew it ain't really no getting out of this room. It was like a bed and just like a chest or drawer next to the bed. And then it was like a little chain, you know, next to the thing. So he would put the chain on my arm and tell me I can't get out. And the first day that I got there, he told me, here go the rules. If you don't abide by 'em, it's gonna be worse things that I'm gonna do to you other than just beat you, right? So I'm just looking at him because I always been a fighter in spirit. I'm just looking at him like whatever. I'm not doing whatever you say. I'm still trying to get away. The room didn't have no windows because people always ask like, did it have windows? It didn't have windows. So he tells me you need to watch these movies, and the movies was like pimp movies of like The Game, or basically how do you teaching me how to be a good prostitute, really. You know what I mean? Or whatever. So I sat there and he left and he returned in 2 days. Okay. So when he returned in 2 days, I knew this man is crazy. Like he mean business because I was hungry. I was, you know, thirsty. This is the type of way that they kind of torture you to make you do what they want you to do.
So let him feed you.
No, he didn't feed me. He didn't give me no water, nothing. So he returns in 2 days. Like, are you ready to obey now? So at this point, I'm just like, well, yeah. So he forces me to watch these movies. I want to make this as fast as I can, but he forced me to watch these movies. Um, and then he starts to have guys come there to sleep with me, like lined up. It was just so many, to be honest. I really didn't have no say so in the matter at all. You know, if I did try to talk back, because in the beginning, I definitely would try to, you know, be feisty and talk back, like, I'm not doing this, or I would be like freaking out. So he started to give me weed, marijuana, right? In combination with ecstasy pills in my drinks so that I could act the way he wanted me to act. And at first, I was angry about that because you got somebody who went from not being on no drugs at all to now I'm a drug addict too. Um,
I was going to ask you, did they give you something to cope, to deal with just the rhetorical thing, what you was doing over and over and over? How was you? And I guess I can say that you just had to do it, but where was your mind at that time mentally? Um,
my
to
mind
recover that
was
trauma?
my mind was totally, I'm gonna kill this man or he gonna kill me. And my mind was also, I should just take my own life because I just felt so icky and devalued and anger. I felt a lot of things. And I think for me, the only way for me to survive was for me to escape reality in a sense. And drugs helped me do that. And that's why a lot of survivors end up being on drugs. It's a grace of God that I'm not on drugs, after that. But it helped me to escape reality because you got to think this physical pain, mental pain, everything. And then the pimp was raping me every day too because he was narcissistic. So it don't even matter. I could been and did these people, right? He got all this money because he would make like $2,000 to $4,000 off me a day, right? And then that's still not enough. Like now he wants to rape me and beat me and stuff like that just to make me feel real low. It's like they try to destroy you and kill you mentally, physically, in every way possible if you let them. Um, so it was really hard for me to just hold on to my spirit. That's why I know that God definitely was with me. It was real hard, but I just was determined that this man could do whatever he want to do to my body, but he cannot kill my spirit. And I think he knew
My
that.
God.
And that's why he would try to kill it, like even the more. Like I'm gonna kill
Right,
it.
right, right.
Um, so
Hey,
yeah,
wait, let me ask you this question. You was raised in church. So
yes.
when you got to this point, and like you said, he couldn't kill your soul, your spirit,
Hmm.
was you calling on Jesus? Was you praying? Was
No,
you
I'm gonna be honest with you, and that make my testimony even greater. I wasn't because I felt so guilty, and a lot of times that's what happens with people, right? I felt like God ain't gonna come for me. Ain't no point in even calling on God because
mm,
look at what I'm doing. I didn't know that about human trafficking being like his fault or whatever. I thought everything was my fault. I thought because I initially had gotten myself into this mess, that is my fault. And God is not about to come rescue nobody like me. So I might as well just lay here and die. So
Jesus?
I didn't
Go
think
ahead.
that yet. I just kept thinking in a human form, let me get myself out of this, and I wasn't able to get myself out of it. That's why people can't tell me God not real because I was trying to ask everybody to get me out of it. The tricks, okay, the tricks are the people that you sold to. So I would ask them like, can you help me, please? And some of them really had compassion and would try to help me. And then a pimp pull a gun on them. Trick after trick I would ask, and then I get beat up, right? So eventually, my friend, my good friend that I was raised with all my life in diapers, her name is Charmaine. I love her so much. She ends up coming to this house where I was captured at, right? And he
Mm.
brings her there to see his pet or whatever, because he would show people, like he would bring people to see me and all of that. And usually they'd be laughing and this and that. So
But
I
was
guess
they dating or anything like that? Was they
he
involved in a relationship?
no, they wasn't dating, but he wanted to date her. So this was just somebody that she just randomly met. And he like, let me show you, this, hooker or whatever. Let me show you my pet. So he brought her to the house to see me. So I heard her talking outside the door and I'm thinking, is that my friend Charmaine? What the heck is she doing here? So I instantly felt like the shame and just everything. And as soon as he opened the door, we both started to kind of tear up. But he didn't know that she knew me. And soon as I think we had like maybe a minute to talk before he, could hear us talking. And she just told me, like, Keisha, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you get out. And I was like, you can't help me get out. This man will kill me. Like I've been here all this time. You can't help me get out.
Mm.
So she did that by spending the night with us, pretending to like him. That's why I say this is a friend, y'all. She pretended to like him and spent the night with us. Now, while she was there with us, he treated me all the worst. However he normally treated me, treated me 10 times worse than that. I had to sleep on the floor like a dog, all of that stuff, because he was trying to show out for my friend. And I was hurting. I didn't care. It's like with all that pain I went through, it just bothered me more for my friend to witness that though.
So let
So,
me ask you, did you have on clothes at this point? Was he just leaving you in there, without any
well,
clothes
that
on?
night I was naked, but he would put clothes on me. He would bring me clothes to put on, but it would be like seductive, clothes like nightwear. I wasn't really allowed to wear nothing else except like stripper clothes, really, just so that I could be sold.
My
Um,
God. Okay.
yeah, so he would bring other pimps to the house. I remember that. They would have like pimp meetings, and if they did have any girls with them, we couldn't be together. They couldn't come in the room where I was or nothing like that. But I would hear them talking, and I would hear them talking about us, how they would violate us, and the women wasn't nothing, and we better, make bringing this amount or we'll be killed. Just all kind of crazy stuff. And I just remember just thinking like, I want to die. That's all I just kept thinking. I want to die, or I want to kill him, but I don't know how I can even do it. And then I'm like, if I do kill him, that's still like death, because then if I spend my life in jail forever for him hurting me, and then I did this. So anyway, to make a long story short, it came to a place where my friend sets this up where she tells me she gonna get me out the house. She tells him, like, let her out the house, please, whatever.
So wait, how many years has this been now?
This is like 2 years in.
Okay, go ahead.
So she like, let her please come out or whatever. So he like, okay, I'm gonna let her come out. So I'm just like, really? He really let me come out? But of course I still had to have the chain be chained to him, but and carry this big
Trying
pump.
to him where?
I was chained to him. He had a chain on me like I was a dog.
And what was the chain at?
The chain was just on my wrist. And
Wow.
then I would have to I would have to carry a pimp cup just for the shame and embarrassment. And people would laugh and all that and mock me or whatever. So we get to the party, we sit down, 20 minutes in, it's about maybe, I don't know, 8 guys or so that pull guns out on him. So I'm thinking, good, yes, I'm about to get away. But he does something don't nobody expect. He pulls the gun out and puts it to my temple.
My
And
God.
he says, we're about to play Russian roulette. And he started clicking the trigger to my temple. So I'm like, I'm about to just go with this man. Whatever they were saying, I can't hear y'all because I don't see how I'm gonna get out of this. So they was just like, Keisha, no, you don't have to. We could shoot him or whatever. But I felt like you can't shoot him without shooting me. I'm right here bound. So I just couldn't see a way out of that. So I ended up going back with him, and continuing to be trapped. And of course, you ain't nothing, ain't never been nothing, you ain't gonna never be nothing. Like, they talk a lot of bad stuff in your head. He told me that was all my fault, and I ended up getting beat and raped as a result of that. So now I'm just at this house. I'm just taking the abuse. I'm taking the rape. I'm taking everything. I'm not even really trying to get away no more because I have did that, and to me,
You just,
just
you just was the victim. Like, this is just the rest of my life. I'm just gonna be like this until I die. Like, there is no way out of here. I can't even see myself getting out of this. So you just
yes.
accepted the fact that that's where you were, and that's just the way your life was gonna be.
Yes. And then they brainwash you by telling you that you ain't gonna be nothing better than, I'm gonna be a pimp and you're gonna be a prostitute or whatever it is. So it was just like I was just thinking that this is just my life. My life is just meant to be, this awful place, right? So at this point, eventually I say like 6 years in, I'm just speeding it up for time's sake. 6 years in, he ends up telling me like, okay, I trust you now. So now I'm gonna take you out on a stroll, and I trust that you will do what I say. I trust you ain't gonna try to run away and all of this. So he lets me out the room, takes me out, throws me on downtown Chicago on a hooker stroll, and tells me like, go make my money, as if he thought he really could trust me. When that man turned the corner, I took off running for my life. Okay, I did not stop running. I ran to every person that I seen, just there in that atmosphere. I had never been on like a prostitute or a hooker stroll or whatever. So I didn't realize that everybody is set characters for the stroll. So you got your pimps out there, you got your, what else? You got your people that's trying to buy you tricks out there, and then you even got undercover cops. So that's what happened. I ended up running to other pimps. I run into the first pimp. I asked him, please, can you help me? Come to find out he's a pimp, and he's like, I'm gonna get you for reckless eyeballing. So reckless eyeballing is basically you cannot look a pimp into the eyes. If you do, they actually got rules to this, if you can believe that, right? Trafficker rules. So if you look him in the eyes, then he can make you be his and go be his slave. And if you don't, or he could kill you in the pimp. Okay, so I already knew this because I had watched the game. Remember, I was already brainwashed with the game.
Right, right.
So I took off running. So he pulls out a huge butcher knife, about this big, y'all. And he's chasing me down the street. Now, mind you, I got on stripper clothes. I got on stripper tall 6-inch heels, and I'm running in. So I'm running from him. Then I run into another pimp with a car full of girls. I'm saying, can you help me? Can you help me? The pimp is like, yeah, I'll help you be, whatever. Get in. I could tell that these were traffickers, not by how they look, y'all. I could tell by their characteristics. As soon as I heard what he was saying, I knew this another one. So I took off running. He pulls out a gun out the window, downtown Chicago, y'all. And get to just shooting a gun. So now I'm running from him. Like, oh my God, I know I'm about to die now. For real. Like I'm about to die. I ended up getting glass all in my foot from me running. Because my foot, it broke off or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
My heel had ended up breaking off. So then I run into a undercover cop. I didn't know he was an undercover cop, but I see a white face, so a Caucasian face, and I'm just thinking, this must be a friendly person. Okay. So I jump in a car with him and I'll tell him like I'm in trouble. These people trying to kill me. Somebody had me locked up all this time, being a sex slave, everything. So he like, okay, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you. I'm like, no, just drive off now. Drive off, and that's how you will help me. He's telling me to meet him at the corner in 2 minutes. So I get out, I meet him at the corner, but I'm thinking like my intuition, or really God, is telling me something not right. Like, what is something not right with this? I suddenly hear sirens coming from everywhere, right? They coming for me. So I'm thinking like, oh my God, now I'm about to get arrested. So I take off running again. At
Jesus.
this point, after all of this is when I think about God, y'all. This is when I think about God. Whether I feel bad or not, I'm just like, Lord, cover me. I never forget this prayer, y'all. That's all I had strength to say, right? So I'm just like, we gonna see today if God will help me or not, or whatever.
Right.
So then I take off, going, just still running, looking for help. And I see a guy with a huge God tattoo. So I'm just thinking, well, this must be where I'm supposed to go. He was like outside, they was drinking and, talking and stuff. So I run to him and his friends. It's about maybe 6 of them, one guy and 5 friends. So he said, we'll help you jump in. I get in the car. They cover my head with like some type of cover they had in the car. They take me to a Muslim, what is it, like some type of convention or something they was having at a
Mhm.
huge expensive hotel. So I get there, and once I get there, they just tell me like, get yourself cleaned up. We care about you, all that stuff. I go in the bathroom, get myself cleaned up. They are waiting at the door when I come out, like someone's just waiting to further victimize me, right? So
Wait a minute.
yes, yes.
Lord, go ahead.
So I already knew this about to be crazy, something else crazy, right? Keisha made a boo boo. I thought that was God and he wasn't, right? So I just started thinking like, what can I think of? I gotta think quick. So I see the guy that's calling the shots. So I just tell him, look, if I let you have sex with me, can you please keep the other people off? Keep them totally off from me. So he said yes. And I said, and I want to make one phone call. And he agreed. So I had to go in there and feel filthy and more victimized than I already did, and going to have sex with this man before I can make a phone call. And I felt some type of way, but I'm just like, it's better than me continue to live a whole life of that. Uh,
Right.
so he let me make a phone call. I called my pastor. A lot of people like, why? But I called my pastor because she had already established a relationship with me. Y'all, this is so important. Please listen, because people be too judgmental in life. Like my
Yes.
pastor had established a relationship with me when I was a kid, just, buying us Christmas gift or whatever. And she never was judgmental. I told her about me getting molested. She didn't judge. So I just like, I need to talk to somebody that's not gonna judge me. So I called her. She like, wait. You can imagine how I was just talking fast and oh my God. And she like, let me speak to the man. Let's get you safe first. So she gets on the phone with the guy. I'm guessing he was trying to get ransom for me or something because he was arguing with my pastor and going back and forth. And it was like he didn't want to allow her to come get me because he didn't want her to know what we was. And he didn't really want to bring me. So that conversation went on for like some hours, at least 4 hours, because this is like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Mhm.
So by this point, it gets to be 8 o'clock in the morning. And finally she convinces him to bring me to the church. So he brought me to the church. I literally fell in the church, wig looking all crazy, I'm looking all crazy. Everybody just like, is that Keisha? And I did not care because I was so grateful for my life. And I knew that God had brought me out because it was not humanly possible no other way. Y'all see how many times I went to people and they couldn't really help me get out of it. So I was just so thankful. And that was the beginning of my life changing. But again, until you make those changes, until you
Right.
go through that deliverance and everything, your life don't be changed. But I was free, right? So let me just say this because this is real important too. So after I got free, my family, because they wasn't educated on what human trafficking was, everybody just looked at it like I just came out of prostitution or I was trapped or whatever it was. So
Right.
they really didn't know what happened to me. They just knew I was gone all this time, the years or whatever it was, and I went through something. So they just was like, look, don't tell nobody because it's like an embarrassment to us and stuff. And don't tell us because it's too painful. So I had to hold that in. As a result, I tried to commit suicide 3 times.
My God.
Um, so yeah, the first time pills, the second time I jumped out of the car on the expressway, and God spared my life with only some bruises, and I was hospitalized. Then the third time pills. Every time these people would ask me what is going on, I would tell them, I just want to kill myself. I was trying to keep the loyalty to my family. When people would ask my family, what is going on with Keisha? Why is she acting so, like something's wrong? Like she keep trying to kill herself and this and that. And they would just tell her, how, crazy Keisha be. But nobody was being honest about the truth. And I don't know why, but that was a problem for me.
So let me ask you this. Let me just recap on that. So when you got free, your family wanted to keep it hush hush because maybe they thought that you was out there because you wanted to be out there. They thought that you was just out in the streets because that's what you wanted to be, not knowing that this all stemmed from a root. Come on.
Yes.
This all, y'all, this everything that she has gone through stemmed from a root from when she was 2 years old. All of this, what she has gone through, stemmed from a root of abandonment issues. She had abandonment issues. She had low self-esteem. She didn't think that she was loved and didn't think she was beautiful. So this all came from 2 years old from her parents. So we have to be careful as adults when we're raising children. And if you know anyone that's having children, you don't just have children and let them go and live your life. You have a responsibility to raise your children and to see about them. Because they didn't see about her, check on her, love her, give her what she needed, it turned to abandonment. It turned to her feeling like lost. No one loved her. So she yearned for love in all the wrong places. Whatever someone said made her feel good. Whenever somebody that made her feel good or said something that she wanted to hear or gave her goods or things. Remember, her dad had said that, it's her birthday. It's her birthday. Gave her $1 and kept everything up. And it wasn't even her birthday. So that shows you in the beginning how he was pushing her out to be used, and not as a prostitute at that point, but he was pushing her out, using her to use her to gain something from her. That started when she was very, very small. We have to be careful of how we raise our children, not knowing that things are going to affect them long term. Get in bad relationship, right? You go and get in a bad relationship at 16, being abused, and it just trickled on to where she landed to where she was being sex trafficked for 6 years. She got free. She went to church and left. Her family didn't want to talk about it. Don't say nothing. Let's push this under the rug. Don't tell nobody because you're gonna embarrass us. We don't want nobody to know you was out there hoeing in the streets because listen, they thought that this was something that she wanted, right? But it wasn't what she wanted. She lacked love and she was reaching for the wrong places and it turned into this. So we have to be open as individuals, not to judge people. Hallelujah. For what they are. We can't judge them. Let's help them. What's the issue? Let's get to the root. So she said that she so tell us, because you said you had to go through, listen, y'all, I want y'all to hear this. She had to go through healing, inner healing, and deliverance. Y'all put that on, type it in the chat. Inner healing and deliverance. Please share. Type that in, inner healing and deliverance. Now I want you, Lakeisha, to tell us about the inner healing and deliverance. When did it take place? What was the process? And how did it help you?
It didn't take place until after Like I told you, with me trying to commit suicide, and I began to be promiscuous because I just started to believe, like, since my family acting like this, then with the pimps, what I went through, then maybe I am this person. So I continued to search for love, right? And then I just started willingly just, sleeping with different people and all around the place, and I still couldn't get the love. So now, remember I told you I tried to kill myself. After the third time, I I believe that God brought it to me. Like, okay, all these people tried to kill you. Wait, your mama tried to kill you. Let's start there. Okay. You can't just
Wow, right, your mom. Go
yeah.
ahead.
All these people tried to kill you. Then you tried to kill you. And you still won't die. I start to think, who am I? Right? Who am I? I must be somebody, maybe this is a lie that I'm this horrible person. Or maybe my whole existence has more to it, right? So
Mhm.
that's when I began to give myself to God, and I started to formulate like a personal relationship with God. And during those times, I really didn't have no other choice because I feel like humans was treating me real bad. People was bleaching toilets and everything. It was crazy. So that pushed me like closer to God. And I started to get in counseling, with my pastor, and you know, I had to cry the stuff out of my system. I had to,
Yeah.
be prayed over. I prayed for myself. Like I kicked and screamed my way. Literally, I went through a lot. And then I also did a combination of regular therapy too. Like a lot of in our community, we don't believe in that, but there's nothing wrong with getting that out because that starts the inner healing. But I have realized through my relationship with God that in order to for me to really get true healing, that I need to know these roots and stuff. That's how I'm able to tell you like
Yeah.
what
Yes.
the roots were and like that. Like I feel like God revealed that to me through just church and through my personal relationship through prayer. Y'all don't know what I've been through, y'all. This is like 13 years, okay? But it's been 13 years of all of this struggle and pain, like to bring me here before you today. It was not easy, and you have to want it. Because I don't think I would have got as far as I did if I didn't at least have some form of participation and a willingness to just give myself to God completely. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's been rough. But it is doable, and you can make it, right? So 2 years ago, let's get up to that point. 2 years ago, now I was quiet all that time, but I was in therapy and, just prayer, just everything else. Faithfully in my position, but feeling like I need to be quiet. I don't need to say anything because of my, past. And then God literally gave me a dream. That's how it happened. Of me doing exactly what I'm doing right now. Like talking to
Wow.
millions of people and all of that. And anyway,
Before you
from
go
there,
there, let me ask you this question. So, the time of the healing coming to now to 2 years ago,
yes.
did you separate yourself from certain individuals? Did
Oh,
you
definitely.
shut
That is
people down? Come on, tell me about that because that's
definitely.
important.
I definitely had to shut out a lot of people. All of that was. It's like you starting over, like you a baby, learning how to walk. Okay, because here's my thing. When I first came out of all of that, my etiquette skills was terrible. I was loud and ignorant and ghetto and all that because I was used to just basically living like I was an animal
Yeah,
or something.
yeah,
And then my choice of friends was horrible, and I was still letting people just hurt me and do all these things. And I started to just cut people just clean off. I'm just like, God, I just can't do it. These people gotta go because I'm noticing my life it don't feel like it's improving. It seems like it's getting worse, or you got people that's making me feel worse, or whatever it is. So I definitely had to separate myself. Um, and I honestly, I will say this is the best advice I could give you. Real true deliverance is a daily thing, y'all. Daily. It ain't no you just do one thing, then you deliver it, and then that's it. Even though I'm free indeed, I daily, daily gotta talk to God. I daily gotta what else? Just do what it takes for my own personal sanity and my own personal freedom. So there are times when, just like after this, people don't know, but in 2 days, I'm about to take a little vacation. But there are times when I do that just so that I can get rid of the noise of everything.
yes.
and just be able to talk to God in a real way, because at the end of the day, he is the one that believed in me when nobody did. That's how I look at it. You get
Yes.
what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's just like now I'm comfortable in like getting rid of the noise and the people and all of that. I feel fine. You know, he'll have you isolated for a reason.
Yes.
Um,
So
but
you said
yeah,
2 years ago. So now where you are now. So tell us
now
what you're doing now. What is God doing in your life?
I started a nonprofit organization, and that's called Honorable Women Inc. I named it Honorable Women because I'm like, what is the opposite of everything people always tried to make me feel like I was? Like just totally awful and this and that. And then God gave me honorable. So I'm like, yes, that's what it'll be called. And you know, it's important. Names are important. But what we do is we help domestic violence like victims, and also survivors, and also survivors of trafficking. And when I say we help them, we support them through whatever it is they need, you know, child care. We also connected with some larger organizations like the Salvation Army and the YWCA. And we just get them whatever support they need. We help with escape. You know, we have a program called First Steps to Freedom program, and that is for those people getting out of it and going through. I don't want nobody to feel how I did. I had to just walk with me and God really, but I felt extremely isolated, like in my process.
Mhm.
So this program is for people to feel supported by people like themselves who have went through it and, you know, got through it successfully, just for somebody to hold your hand and to not judge you, because this thing is not easy. Like I wish I could tell y'all that it was just, I just, like I said, got free, but I had to stumble along the way. I had to fall. I had to get up, you know, all kind of stuff I had to just go through before I finally was able to master freedom, like true freedom.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
So I actually posted here for them to see your information. Her information is here in the chat. Honorablewomeninc.org. Um, there we go. HonorableWomenInc.org. Her Instagram is Honorable Women Inc. Facebook is Honorable Women Inc. YouTube is Honorable Women Inc. TikTok is Lakeisha Walker 777. And her email address is honorablewomen@gmail.com. Now, if you or anybody that is viewing this live would like to have her come out and speak, to book her for a speaking engagement, to if you know someone that needs help, you know someone that needs someone to walk them through the process, you know someone that is even in a bad relationship, an abusive relationship, um, please reach out to Lakeisha Walker. God has brought her through there so that she can be a living testimony, a living epistle, a living walking vessel to help someone else come from their dark place. This was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful testimony of where God has. It shows you that your past does not dictate your future. It shows you that I don't care where you are in life. I don't care if you came out of the divorce, abusive relationship, you're in an abusive relationship, you don't know how to get out of it. Contact this woman of God right here. If you are going through just anything, drug addictions, anything, listen, there are people out here that can help you. If you know anyone else that needs the help, listen, have her reach out, take her information down, go follow her on her all her handles here. Follow her. See the work that she is doing for other women that is in her that came out of her situation. She is so beautiful. You are
Thank you.
beautiful, Lakeisha. You're bright, you're glowing. I see what God has done with you, what He's going to do with you. Hallelujah. I just thank Him for saving you and bringing you to this point where you are today, that you are still in your right mind, you know, because people have to go through therapy and counseling when they come out of that. But I want you to encourage. Let's leave a word of encouragement for the viewers today, a word of encouragement for, and just act like if we are talking to of victims here, victims in abusive relationship, victims, that is going through hard times, whatever it may be. And you're a single parent, right? You got children.
Yes, I have
Yes.
I have 3 children. I'm a single parent, which is a whole nother thing that I'm going through. And people seem to think that you don't go through nothing else, but it's not that you don't go through anything else, but it is that God will carry you through
Yes.
whatever it is you're going through, and you will win. You get what I'm saying? When it's all
Mhm.
said and done, you won't be the loser of it. You'll be the winner. I
Yes.
mentioned my books too, y'all. I got 2 books on Amazon right now, and I'm
Oh,
working
come
on
on. Tell us what the name of those books are.
Brilliant Minds Human Sex Trafficking Workbook, and that is something you definitely need to get because it just gives you the characteristics of these traffickers, the characteristics of the survivor, like all the stuff
What
I
is
mentioned.
it called again?
Is Brilliant Minds Human
Hmm.
Trafficking, Sex Trafficking Workbook, or you can just answer
Brilliant
Lakeisha.
Minds is one book, and Human Sex Trafficking Workbook is another book.
It's all the same book. Brilliant
Brilliant
Minds
Minds.
Sex Trafficking Workbook.
Okay, and they can find this on Amazon.
Yes. And then the other one is called Bubble Spoke Up. That's for all you people who have little ones. And that book encourages the younger kids to say when they feel uncomfortable, just to speak up and just say when they feel uncomfortable. That's the whole book is mainly about.
Okay, and I'm sorry. Give me that book
Oh,
again.
Bubble Spoke Up.
Bubble.
Yep.
Okay, and this is on Amazon as well.
Yes.
All right, y'all. Y'all go and get her book. I have put her information, Brilliant Mind Sex Trafficking Workbook on Amazon by Lakeisha Walker. And also the book Bubble Spoke Up is on Amazon as well. These are Lakeisha 2 books. Y'all can support her by going to Amazon, getting her books, by going to her all her handles here. Now, I really want you, Lakeisha, to
Yes.
leave a word of encouragement again for
Yes.
the people that is watching. Please tag and share everybody on your page so people can just see how. Let this go all out. Let people see this because people don't talk about sex trafficking. It takes a lot of guts and being delivered and healed to be able to voice this. So let's get this out. So Lakeisha, go ahead and leave a word of encouragement for the viewers today.
A word of encouragement for you who might be experiencing it, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's sex trafficking, labor trafficking, whatever it is that you're going through, just know that you will get through it. To all my people that's ever tried to commit suicide like I did, thinking that it was over, I just want you to know that it's not over until it's over. It ain't over until you're in that grave. But as long as you have breath in your body, there's a chance for your life to never be the same. And especially just keep God first in everything that you do and know that it don't matter if every human is against you. Because I felt like that, like everybody was just against me. Um, just know that there is a big God of this whole universe that is supporting you, that does see the best in you, regardless of how anybody else, even if you, sometimes we are our own worst enemy, like I was, right? Even if you don't even see it, he do have a plan for you. So just don't give up, hang in there and know that everything is gonna be all right. And also inbox me. I'm down to earth. I mean, I don't mind, like, if you need help, inbox me. I definitely will talk to you.
Oh, I love it. I love it, you guys. She says she's down to earth. She would definitely talk to you. Inbox her, Lakeisha Walker. Lakeisha, we thank you so much for gracing this platform with Everyday Life with Tori Munson podcast. We're here, we laugh, we cry, we joke. We are just 100% transparent. And I honor you, honorable woman, for coming on here and telling your story. I know that great things are yet waiting for you. Doors are going to open for you that people will never thought. People may have judged you, but eyes have not seen and ears have not heard. Listen, thank you all for joining us. Tune in with us next month with Everyday Life with Tori Munson podcast. Don't forget to check out our honorable woman, Lakeisha Walker. Over and out. Bye.
Bye.